I've devised a question no robot could ever answer. Which of these pictures does not have a stop sign in it? Fucking what? You spend most of your day telling a robot that you're not a robot. Think about that for 2 minutes and tell me you don't want to walk into the ocean. I just like old-fashioned things. I was in Connecticut recently doing white people stuff, and yeah. One day, well, it doesn't matter why, but I was sitting in a gazebo, and there was a plaque on the gazebo, and it said, "This gazebo was built by the town in 1863. That is in the middle of the Civil War, and the whole town built a gazebo. What was that town meeting like? Like, all right, everyone, first order of business. We have all the telegrams from Gettysburg with the war dead. Let's see here. Okay, everyone's husband and brother, and everyone died. Okay. Josiah, you had something? Yes, I do. How'd you like to be indoors and out of doors all at once? Ever walking through the park with your betrothed and it starts to rain, but you still want to hold hands? Well, may I introduce you to, and my condolences again to everyone, the gazebo! Building a gazebo during the Civil War. That'd be like doing stand-up comedy now. Yes. Thank you for clapping at my political gazebo material. I'm very brave. I've never really cared about politics. I never talked about them much. But then, last November, the strangest thing happened. Now, I don't know if you've been following the news, but I've been keeping my ears open, and it seems like everyone, everywhere, is super mad about everything all the time. I try to stay a little optimistic, even though I will admit, things are getting pretty sticky. Here's how I try to look at it. And this is just me. This guy being the president, it's like there's a horse loose in a hospital. It's like there's a horse loose in a hospital. I think eventually everything's gonna be okay, but I have no idea what's gonna happen next. And neither do any of you, and neither do your parents, because there's a horse loose in the hospital. It's never happened before. No one knows what the horse is gonna do next. Least of all the horse. He's never been in a hospital before. He's as confused as you are. There's no experts. They try to find experts on the news. They're like, we're joined now by a man that once saw a bird in the airport. It's like, get out of here with that shit. We've all seen a bird in the airport. This is a horse loose in a hospital. When a horse is loose in a hospital, you gotta stay updated. So all day long, you walk around, oh, what'd the horse do? What'd the horse do? The updates, they're not always bad. Sometimes they're just odd. Be like, the horse used the elevator. I didn't know he knew how to do that. The creepiest days are when you don't hear from the horse at all. You're down in the operating room like, hey, has anyone, has anyone heard? Those are those quiet days when people are like, it looks like the horse has finally calmed down. And then 10 seconds later, the horse is like, I'm gonna run towards the baby incubators and smash them with my hooves. I got nice hooves and a long tail. I'm a horse. And it's like, oh, that's what I thought you'd say, you dumb fucking horse. And then you go to brunch with people and they're like, there shouldn't be a horse in the hospital. And it's like, we're well past that. And then other people are like, well, if there's gonna be a horse in the hospital, I'm gonna say the N-word on TV. And it's like, those don't match up at all. And then for a second, it seemed like maybe we could survive the horse. And then 5,000 miles away, a hippo was like, I have a nuclear bomb. And I'm gonna blow up the hospital. And before we could say anything, the horse was like, if you even fucking look at the hospital, I will stomp you to death with my hooves. I dare you to do it. I want you to do it. I want you to do it so I can stomp you with my hooves. I'm so fucking crazy. And he's like, you think you're fucking crazy? I'm a fucking hippopotamus. I live in a fucking lake of mud. I'm fucking crazy. And all of us are like, okay. Like poor Andy Cohen at those goddamn reunions. Okay. And then for a second, we were like, maybe the horse catcher will catch the horse. And then the horse is like, I have fired the horse catcher. And he can do that? That shouldn't be allowed, no matter who the horse is. I don't remember that in Hamilton. Sometimes, if you make fun of the horse, people will get upset. These are the people that opened the door for the horse. And I don't judge anyone. But sometimes I ask people, I go, hey, how come you opened the door for the horse? And they go, well, the hospital was inefficient. Or sometimes they go, you know, if you're so mad at the horse, how come you weren't mad when the last guy did this 3.5 years ago? You're beating up on the horse for that when the last guy essentially did the same thing 5 years ago. It's like, first off, get out of here with your facts, okay? You're like the kid at the sleepover who after midnight is like, it's tomorrow now. Get the fuck out of here with your technicalities. Just because you're accurate does not mean you're interesting. That was fun when we watched Beetlejuice tonight. Don't you mean last night? It's after midnight. Hey, why don't you get your sleeping bag and get out of my house? Take your EpiPen. Take your goddamn EpiPen and get out of my house. But when people say, how come you were never mad at the last guy? I say, because I wasn't paying attention. I used to pay less attention before it was a horse. Also, I thought the last guy was pretty smart, and he seemed good at his job. And I'm lazy by nature. I'm lazy by nature, too, so I don't check up on people when they seem okay at their job. You may think that's an ignorant answer, but it's not. It's a great answer. If you left your baby with your mother tonight, you're not gonna race home and check the nanny cam. But if you leave your baby with Gary Busey... and now there's Nazis again. When I was a kid, Nazis was just an analogy you would use to decimate your child during an argument at the dinner table. Now there's new Nazis. I don't care for these new Nazis, and you may quote me on that. These new Nazis. Oh, Jews are the worst, and Jews ruin everything, and Jews try to take over your life. It's like, you know what, motherfucker? My wife is Jewish. I know all that. How do you know all that? I'm allowed to make fun of my wife. I asked her, and she said yes. I've been married for about 3.5 years now, and I was going out on tour, and, oh, thank you very much. And I love and respect my wife very much. So I said to her, hey, we've been married for 3.5 years, and she knew that. I said, do you mind if I still make fun of you on stage? And my wife said, she goes, yeah, you can make fun of me. You can make fun of me, but just don't say that I'm a bitch and that you don't like me. I was like, whoa, the bar is so much lower than I ever imagined. That's it? Also, I wouldn't say that. What kind of show would that even be? Hello! My wife is a bitch! And I don't like her! That's like a support group for men in crisis with keynote speakers John Voight and Alec Baldwin. Also, I would never say that, not even as a joke, that my wife is a bitch and I don't like her. That is not true. My wife is a bitch and I like her so much. She is a dynamite 5-foot Jewish bitch, and she's the best. She and I have totally different styles. When my wife walks down the street, she does not give a shit what anyone thinks of her in any situation. She's my hero. When I walk down the street, I need everybody all day long to like me so much. It's exhausting. My wife said that walking around with me is like walking around with someone who's running for mayor of nothing. My wife and I went to Best Buy to get a TV. We didn't end up getting the TV. I was afraid that the Best Buy guy was gonna be mad at me, so I bought an HDMI cable. And I go up to the register with Anna, my wife's name's Anna, she's standing next to me. I hand the guy the HDMI cable, he takes it, he scans it, and he says, "Do you have a Best Buy rewards card?" And I said, "No, I wish." And then my wife said, "Jesus Christ," and fully walked away from me. Walked all the way over to the laser printers and just stood there, Blair Witch style. And I'm still up at the register, like. And the guy goes, "Do you want a Best Buy rewards card?" And I said, "No." Even though I had just said it was my greatest wish in life. I was hoping he believed me that it was secretly my great wish, but that I'm in an abusive marriage with little Miss Jesus Christ over here, so I can't ask for the things I want in public, but at home at night we argue about it, and I'm like, "You'll see, one day I'm gonna leave you, and I'm gonna get that Best Buy rewards card." She's like, "Jesus Christ. You're never gonna get that Best Buy rewards card." My wife is Jewish, as I said. I was raised Catholic. We have differences in our religious upbringings, and we realized this recently. Not with our kids, because we don't have any kids. People always ask us, "Are you gonna have kids?" And we say no. And then they go, "Never? You're never gonna have kids?" Look, I don't know never. 14 years ago, I smoked cocaine the night before my college graduation. Now I'm afraid to get a flu shot. People change. Well, we don't have any kids now, and it's great. We have a dog, though. We have a 4-year-old French Bulldog. Her name is Petunia. The idea of people applauding for that little monster. I would never tell her that you applauded. It would go right to her ego, that little monster who just rubs her vulva on the carpet while staring at me in the eyes, just I know her vulva itches and she needs to rub it, but the thumping of the back paws, it's upsetting. I'm just kidding. I love Petunia very much. She's one of my most favorite people I've ever met in my life. Petunia likes to be very social, but she can't walk very far because she has a flat face, so she can't breathe by design. But she wants to go out and meet people, but we can't walk her for that long. And anyway, this is a long-winded way of saying that we bought a stroller for our dog. My wife and I walk around New York City pushing Petunia the French Bulldog in a stroller. And it's a big stroller, and it has a big black hood. And people lean in to see the baby. And instead they see a gargoyle breathing like Chris Christie. Just, her paws are sweating. We're like, "He's sick." But religion came up with Petunia recently.